Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Josh and this is the 24/7 News Report. Today's headline comes from TalkSport, who claim that Everton are considering a move for free agent Jesse Lingard. The Blues could apparently look to give Lingard a short-term deal until next season. We shared a poll to get your thoughts on this bit of business, with 32% of you wanting to see Jesse move to the club. 20% of you were unsure and 46% of you are against this deal. I think I'd probably fall into the 46% though. He's a player that I think hasn't hit the potential a lot of people had for him. He asks for huge wages and he hasn't seemed to stick to a few of the clubs he has been to. And he does seem to be quite an up and down player as well, so I'm not sure how much use Everton would get out of him. Maybe a short term deal just to bolster the squad might be an alright idea, but we'd have to be sure, and there'd have to be no better options, I think, in this case to see Lingard at Everton. He's been a player that's been linked before, but I'm not sure if we will really be able to get the best use out of him. Well, if he fits into Dyche's plan, then maybe it's a good call, but and having that short-term deal means we're not just sucked into a deal that'll be weighing on our wage budget for too long, so might be a good idea. According to Foot Mercato, Lyon are interested in signing Arnaut Danjuma. Talks are not advancing yet and no decision has been made by Everton. I mean, obviously currently an Everton loanee, so he is ours, and as far as I'm aware, there is no recall option from Villarreal. I'm unsure on that, but from what I've read, that might be the case. He's not been recalled yet, and he is an Everton player until his loan expires. He's not seen too much action, so I'm not sure if Everton will be looking to make that a permanent deal, and I don't know if we would have the money for it, but we'd have to keep an eye out, and whether Arnaut is the player for us. I mean, obviously he's not gotten into the squad. He's been on the bench and made his appearances, but I don't know, maybe that's all he really has the use for when it comes to Dyche's plans, but obviously there's other clubs that are interested. Maybe he might feel like, obviously he wants to play, maybe Lyon might be an option for him, but right now he's an Everton player, but it does seem like there are clubs that are interested in the player. Core Sport have said that Ben Godfrey is an option for AS Roma as Jose Mourinho looks to bolster his squad. Sad one, really, Ben Godfrey. I still hold some hope that he might be an Everton player, but it's one of them where he's looking to get away from us at the minute, where a lot of clubs seem to be in for him. He's not getting the game time here, so it might look like a player that will move away. He really has a task to get into this Everton defence with Tarkowski and Branthwaite, so being so good, he just hasn't been able to get in. And we have seen him in a game recently, and I thought he looked fine, but obviously not good enough to push anyone out. I wouldn't like to see him leave, but I think if he's just a player that we're not going to get any use out of, if he's just going to end up like a Mason Hallgate, for example, maybe it might be an option to get some money for him. But I don't know. I think it'd be great to keep him around. Obviously, have that option as a defensive backup. But I mean, when it comes to backup, he doesn't often get in over Michael Keane from Dyche's point of view. So I'm not sure how much we'd actually see him anyway. An interesting one we'll have to keep our eyes on. The Liverpool Echo has reported that Everton's transfer window is likely going to be a quiet one, after Kevin Farwell stated that Everton is unlikely to sign any players as financial prudence is crucial. This one's going to disappoint a lot of people. Obviously, you'd like to see a club do business in any transfer window, and I think obviously as a squad we could do with a few more players if we had the money for it, which from these comments it looks like we don't have the money for any new players. It will be very disappointing to not see anyone come in. Obviously there's certain positions where I think a lot of people think we could do with backup, and you see players like Decore go out, and all of a sudden there's a huge shift in the performances we can output. I mean, I don't know. There's definitely room for improvement in the squad. There's no doubt about that. But it looks like this January won't be the time for that. I mean, January is a tough window to sign players in anyway. So even if we had the money, I'm not sure how much business we'd see. But obviously, to know going into it that even the people at the club aren't looking to bring many/any players in is a disappointing one, but I think everyone really understands the financial issues we're going through at the minute, so I don't suppose it'll come as a surprise to many people. Sky Sports News has reported that Everton are doing the due diligence required if money does become available this transfer window. Priority positions are thought to be wingers and another centre-back. Real Betis winger Asane Diao is a player that Everton admires, so Everton making sure that they really do choose the right player if any money does become available. Obviously, we cannot waste it, so due diligence really is required here. It's a tough one. It really is. If we do get money, what position do we spend the money on, and what player do we get? Because obviously we need quality players. We can't just one does hope that Kevin Felwell has a list of players that he knows are going to be good for the club. He's worked with Sean Dyche on it. Hopefully there is no ifs, buts or maybes when it comes to players in the positions. I hope it's just a case of being able to get the money, and obviously then it gets to the negotiations for the players. But I do hope we have a list of players in each position. That we can go for, and it's not just a waste of money if that money does become available, which obviously there are questions behind. Finally, Martin Ziegler has reported that there is concerns that Everton could potentially face a second charge of breaching the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. Premier League clubs that have breached any rules will learn if they've been charged in 2 weeks, so not what we want to hear. Obviously, having that 10-point deduction for the first rule break and the first issue, obviously we've just managed to fight to stay where we are currently. If we had them 10 points back, we'd be looking pretty decent in the league, but obviously another one could really make our season a big issue, and I don't know if we'd be able to take another points deduction if we are found guilty. Obviously it does raise the question of all the clubs that have multiple other confirmed cases, and they've not had anything happen to them. There's issues around that, obviously, and it's not something we would like to see it coming out that we've broken a second, or there's a second charge of breaching another rule. Not what we want to see. Hopefully that doesn't go any further, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. But let us know what you think of all the different bits and news. How do you feel about Jesse Lingard getting involved with the polls that we've been putting out to see on that transfer? How do you feel about Arnaud Danjuma and the possibilities of Everton bringing in players? How do you feel about a January transfer window without any players coming in? Let me know down in the comments on all the news coming in, and this has been the Toffee Blues. Thanks for watching.